Hello, Scorpio. Aloha. Super happy to have you here today. Today we are going to be going over January 2025 astrological predictions for your sign. If you have a Scorpio sun, moon, or rising sign, you know I love y'all. I have a Scorpio moon. We are going to be looking at growth and how there can be emotional breakthroughs, meaningful connections, things of that nature for you in January 25. So sit back, Scorpio, and let's take a look at the cosmic influences shaping 2025 for you. For those of you that don't know, I keep my personal ephemeris in my planner. So we will be looking at that, as well as some notes I've taken and some astrological chartings in front of me. So we're going to be taking a look at all three and digging deep into January 2025. All right, let's talk big picture, Scorpio. The big picture. The sun is going to be in Capricorn from the 1st through January the 19th. It moves into Aquarius on January the 19th at 1500, which is 3 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And this is going to be, while it's in Capricorn, it's going to be in your third house of communication, learning, and local connections. Third house rules over technology, emails, communication of any sort. It also rules over gaining knowledge through the internet as well. So if you've been seeking wisdom on any area of your life regarding the internet, it could be focused on that. There will be a time for you to express yourself and build meaningful connections, both personal and professional, through dialogue. This is a great time for you to sit down with friends and family and just chat, have a good drink, sit down, chat, get to know each other, get to know what's going on in each other's lives, that sort of thing. It's a really great time for that. It's also a good time for you to pursue anything that involves reaching out via the internet. So if you do any kind of work that involves emailing or, social interaction through communication, not through social interaction through likes, hearts, and all that stuff, but more like through actual communication, that will be favored during the first 18 days of January. When the sun moves into Aquarius, Scorpio, there's going to be a focus on your home, your family, your foundation. The fourth house has to do with those elements, and this is going to get you to reconnect to your family roots, and create a supportive environment for yourself. So you will be focused on how to kind of connect with your family in a much deeper way as you move towards the tail end of January. As we moved into January, we had a new moon on Monday, so great new energy, exciting new energy. We had some astrological elements lingering in November and December involving Mercury being retrograde that may have caused some miscommunication, some delays, a sense of internal struggle, a sense of struggle with others. And Mercury was retrograde in the sign of Sagittarius, which is in your second house of finances, values, and material security. This is where movable goods are. So it's not when we talk about finances, it's not like your home, right? This would be like your car, your money, your income, things of that nature. You could have ran into some delays on the money front. You could have ran into some struggles on the money front. You could have earned a lot of money and then lost a lot of money. And so the last couple months may not have been good for you in that area of your life. If it was, that's fantastic. You escaped. Perhaps Mercury is in a much different placement in your individual chart, and I'm happy for you. But for most Scorpios, you will have seen some money struggles in the latter half of the year. The post shadow began about mid-December, and as you're moving into January, the post shadow is pretty much about over, but those energies are still going to be lingering a little. It will clear entirely by mid-January, so you should see some better movement on the financial front by mid-January. You may start to see some better movement on the financial front now. It's a good time for you to finalize any budgets you have and revisit any financial agreements you have and look at how you can create a nice, stable financial structure for you and your family. Uranus is going to be stationing direct on January 30th, my apologies, at 11:22 Eastern Standard Time, and that is going to be in your 7th house of partnerships. The 7th house is the relationships that are closest to you, whether you're in communication with them right now or not. Those that are closest to you, those one-on-one connections. It could be romance, it could be friends, it could be family, it could even be professional connections. The one-on-one close connections that you have are going to be highlighted. And if you have run into any difficulties in those areas, you can expect a shift in that area of your life towards the end of the month. So I would expect to see that shift then and see some good movement in February after it's been direct for a while. January the 13th at 17:26. That's 5:26 for all you non-military time people. Eastern Standard Time, the full moon, the wolf moon, woo, the howling wolf moon. The wolf moon moves into Cancer in your 9th house of higher learning, travel, and spirituality. It's a fun house for you. You know, you guys are extreme intellects. At least all the Scorpios I've ever known in my life. And believe me, I've dated many and I've had many Scorpio friends. You all are very, very smart people. And I love this about you because higher learning comes easy for you. In fact, it may even be exciting. It may inspire you. Oftentimes, I've noticed a lot of you tend to focus on history and, you know, how that has affected life in general and what sort of impact it's had on the world. And so when the full moon goes into Cancer, there will be a focus on shaping your choices and your long-term beliefs through the inspiration of this higher learning, of travel, of, exotic things, and even spiritual practices may kind of come into play for you specifically. And you're going to need to trust your insights over that 2-week time. The full moon often brings endings and it brings new beginnings. You may feel like this intense urge, like I've got to go travel somewhere, or there may be somebody somewhere that you've been wanting to go that you say, okay, now I'm going to go. Now I'm going. I'm traveling. Forget it. The door's opening. I'm going. And on January the 29th, the new moon in Aquarius occurs at 07:35. And this is in your 4th house of home, family. It's a good time for you to set intentions with regards to emotional renewal and strengthening those one-on-one bonds that you have with the people in your life. It can also be a good time for redecorating your house, connecting with loved ones, and creating a nice home environment for yourself. All right, Scorpio. Let's get into the shadow side, the dark side, that Scorpio feels so comfortable in. Oh, let me remove my name tag up here. Sorry. We don't need that up there anymore. Okay. So we're going to talk about Chiron, the wounded healer, Black Moon Lilith, that forces you to have to deal with that shadow energy. And then we're going to talk about another deeper cosmic mystical influence that I think will be a positive thing for you. So Chiron is in Aries through the month of January in your 6th house of work and health. This is going to cause you to have to look at any insecurities you may have as a result of your personal health routines, your personal habits, things of that nature. So if you have any insecurities or fears surrounding, for instance, your weight or your health, or whether or not you've been in the gym or not been in the gym, whether or not, you've made adjustments in your life, or maybe you did make some adjustments in your life and now you feel like they're falling, you're kind of falling off of your old routines. So it's a time when you're going to be forced to have to look at those things in the month of January and say, okay, this is where I need to make a change. This is where I need to make a shift. This is what I need to do. So you're going to be inspired to take some sort of action in with regards to your habits and your routines, but it won't feel comfortable for you, Scorpio, because of Chiron. And, you know, you're going to have to look at things from a more balanced space, a balanced place of well-being. So that's self-care and routines. You need to find balance there. You can't go full on, fixed Scorpio mode. You're going to have to find a little bit of a balance there so that you won't be faced with these insecurities or fears as the month progresses. So pay attention to that. Super important for you. Black Moon Lilith, our dear shadow energy, is moving through the house of Leo, which is in your 10th house of career and public identity. So you're going to have to face some fears with how you're perceived by the public. It could be that maybe you start to get in your head and say, oh, I didn't accomplish this, or I didn't accomplish that, or I said I was going to do this and I didn't do that. And, how do people perceive you? And so you're going to be faced with perhaps looking at, maybe you're having imposter syndrome or something of that nature. Those fears and insecurities that crop up from Black Moon Lilith are often not founded fears and insecurities, but they're things that we have to face anyway. It's kind of like think of it as like the Eight of Swords, right? You can free yourself from those fears and worries, but it requires you to take some sort of step and effort. And so you have the opportunity to kind of step into your power and trust your own leadership abilities to make things happen in your life on the career front, Scorpio. So I believe in you. You can do it. I have no doubts, obviously. Vertex rules over fated encounters, and it's positioned in Aquarius in your 4th house of home, family. Once again, we're going back to home and family, and you may have some karmic moments, both positive and negative, tied to your family and emotional security. So pay attention to any chance encounters or realizations that you have that give you a deeper sense of belonging in your home and family. Let's look at the astrological charts. I have a few different ones here. Venus enters Pisces on January the 2nd, your fellow water sign. This is good. It's going to activate your creativity, romance, and self-expression sector. And it's a good time for you to dive into, so that's tomorrow. It's a great time for you to dive into any artistic pursuits, deepen romantic connections, follow your passions, focus on activities that bring you joy and emotional fulfillment. January the 12th, Mars trines Neptune. Trine. This is great. Trines are fantastic. They bring harmony. So this is going to bring harmony between your intuition and your creativity. It's going to be a good time for you to be introspective and explore spiritual and artistic pursuits. Follow your imagination, and Neptune kind of favors that. Follow your imagination, let it lead the way, and help it to solve any challenges that you may be facing. On January the 23rd, Mercury opposes Mars. That's negative, so there's going to be some tension there. Tension in communication, particularly with family and in discussions about home and security. So a lot of focus on home security and family this month. Avoid reacting and try to focus on finding common ground. So expect problems with family, but try to resolve conflict in a calm, meaningful way, okay? Venus trines Mars on the 25th. This looks like it will be affecting your romance and your home life as well, offering a good way to blend your passions with your comforts and strengthen your relationships and beautify your living space. In fact, the end of the month really favors like beautifying your home, kind of sprucing it up, giving it a creative flair, creating a space that will inspire you. Venus sextiles Uranus on the 26th. This can bring unexpected excitement in your relationships. There could be a surprise connection that brings a breakthrough for you, that brings joy, brings a sense of inspiration. Be sure to embrace spontaneity when it comes to romance at this time of the month. So the end of the month, embrace any romantic spontaneity. Try something unconventional. Refresh your perspective in some way. That would be very favorable for you. Now let's go backwards. January the 6th, Mercury squares Neptune. This can create confusion in communication. So early in the month, confusing communication. End of the month, spontaneity. Double check any facts, details. Be mindful of any potential misunderstandings at the beginning of the month. And then mid-month, the sun trines Uranus. This can bring excitements to relationships again. So embrace change, seek out new ways to connect. It's interesting because Scorpio, I see a lot of focus on your connections, your relationships to others during the month. Kind of up, down, up, down. There's times where it's going to be like really fantastic, and other times where you're going to have to find a way to communicate to avoid misunderstandings. So keep that in mind. There is a focus on your relationships. There is a focus on your home and your family. It appears that most of your miscommunications will be with family this month, but I do see you, if you can boldly express yourself, but also remain calm and, consider win-win dynamics, then you can explore some fresh approaches and find a way through these challenges. All right, my dear Scorpios, that's what I have for you for January 2025. Mahalo nui loa. I hope you have a beautiful day. Love and light, my darlings. Kiss, kiss. Mwah. And I shall see you on your next video. Ta-ta for now.